Hey, you're now tuned in to Underdog Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with a heroic heart. I have conversations with successful underdogs, and today we have my homeboy, Gardy Saturne. He's a real estate entrepreneur, leveraging credit to build his real estate empire. How you doing today, bro?
Yo, I'm doing good, bro. I'm doing good. How you feeling over there?
I'm doing good. It's kind of snowing, so we're gonna see what that holds for tonight. If it's just gonna be a little bit, or if it's gonna snow, overnight, because it's been snowing here lately. How's the weather there?
Yo, we had like some. Oh, it probably came like kind of like maybe like 1, 2 in the morning, and then it didn't stick though. So it didn't stick. It's like almost already gone. So it's good, man. It's good. I'm not feeling the cold weather anymore, man. I'm ready to get out of here.
I feel you on that. Yeah, Indiana, our weather is bipolar. It could be snowing one day, 50 degrees the next day. I'm kind of over it, but that's you deal with it. And people, it's so funny. People be like, "Oh my gosh, it's snow." It's wintertime, right? Like snow is gonna come. Like we expect the snow, we expect the cold, but it's like it's something new when it actually happens. But let's get into today's conversation. We're going to talk about real estate since you're a real estate entrepreneur. My
Okay.
first question um, is when you were working your 9 to 5, you were, paying your bills, going through life. What was it that you thought about to get out? Was it already real estate? Was it something else? What was it that kind of pushed you to kind of like, all right, I'm tired of this 9 to 5. I need to figure out something else to start doing.
Yo, to be honest, man, I'm still pushing. I'm still pushing the 9 to 5 right now. Um, what set it off? Um, just how I was able to how I was able to invest. Sometimes people think that you need to start with money, or some amount of saved up, and that can make it easier. But you don't always have money to be able to start in real estate. It just doesn't hurt money. Once I went my way through credit, I saw that as like opportunity that like kind of just removes like, well, I don't have money, you invest in real estate, and it kind of just shifted my mindset. Like now I have access to capital. Now I can go ahead and be able to invest in real estate.
Okay, I like that because a lot of people don't know that when you think of real estate, you think you got to have X amount of dollars, you got to have your credit right, all this different stuff because that's what you hear until you start to actually go and research. So you say you still working your 9 to 5, but you're doing the real estate. When what did you like? What did you start off researching? Like, how did you find out that you can use credit to get into real estate? How did that go about?
Yeah, to be honest, man, I started like credit, and how to get like just get my finances in order and learning how to like just improve my credit, number one. And I heard like you hear people talk on social media, leverage business credit to get into real estate, what I'm saying, to get into trading, Airbnb, Turo, and all of that stuff. And then I was like, all right, cool. I know I got to get credit score not great right now, so let me take care of it so I can get into business credit. And the person was like, you have like 2 years, of business tax returns to be able to get business credit. I was working with them for like probably for like a year monthly to teach me how to like manage finances and everything. And once they told me like, it's not just like as easy. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna be able to like work with this person just because like the end goal. The end goal is not there. And what ended up happening while I got the credit, literally everybody that I worked with started I just started learning more. Like the first, the second I went to, going through some stuff, so they took a step back to a third person, and she helped me out. And after that, I just learned, so much through credit that I learned like the inside. I learned like all of the games, all of the stuff, how to do like and everything like that. And I got my first business credit card. I put marketing and how to look for off market deals. I already knew how to like do stuff virtually. And once I closed that deal, it was like my first 5-figure deal in real estate. And this was all just business, putting it into marketing. And then like 60 days later, I came out with my first 5-figure check. And once I saw that, then all right, this model, I know this model could definitely work. And ever since then, it's been pushing in that direction.
Okay. You just, and what I like what you said was you didn't stop. Like, sometimes people maybe get a coach or a mentor or somebody that they look up to or try to get some information to help them. And they think, oh, this person is going to be the right person. That first person is really never that first person. But then you went to another person. You didn't give up. You kept going to different people to try to learn so that you could, get more information so you could excel and level up. Because sometimes people will go to one or two people and be like, oh, skip it, I'm not going to go to nobody else. They had a bad run-in with them or whatever the case may be. But you have to make sure you're with the right fit. Because sometimes you could be with somebody, they talking good money, but they don't have the same morals as you. Not saying they're a dirty person, but some stuff they might do that you don't do. So that's one thing I took away from that. And then you said basically it was just learning. You had to learn, okay, my credit kind of messed up right now, so let me figure out how to do that. And then once I do that, now I can start getting a business credit. And then instead of getting a business credit and going to buy some dumb stuff or just going to buy stuff that really probably wouldn't help you out, you went and invested it and you were able to make a 5-figure check, which is awesome. Congratulations on that. And one thing I just heard you say that just for me, you have to be 2 years, like you have to have 2 years of, tax return to get business credit. So that lets me know this is my second year of doing tax returns. So now I can get me some business credit because I've done that. So can you elaborate more on that particular like area for someone like myself? So this is my second year of getting a tax return. So will this year I be able to get business credit or will I have to wait till the following year?
Yeah, so I think like I know some more things, come into factor with like getting business credit. There's two ways to look at it. There's some people who like I went the direction of building my personal credit to personal guarantor stuff. So that's like having my, social paperwork, when I'm applying, like when I'm applying for the like for these business credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
I that direction just because I wanted to get my credit. I wanted to get my credit up more than anything else. And there's you can build like true business credit like under like your business LLC.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just depends like which route you want to go to. There's some people who do you know build like they actually build their business credit. It may take a little bit longer. It may take some time to be able to build your personal credit up. But it just worked out for me a little bit better to work on my personal credit a whole lot more. And that's what actually just better, my favor. So and this was somebody that told me at the time, like, you gotta have like 2 years of tax return. I haven't circled back like if that how valid that is, like, what other information is needed. But once they told me that, I was like, no, I could work on my credit. I felt faster than 2 years. So I went
Mm,
the other
okay.
direction.
Okay. So something I need to look in is working on my credit because yeah, my credit like it took a little hit. I was moving up. I was higher than what I actually thought when I actually started looking at my credit and looking at the numbers. And then once I got a divorce, something happened in there that shot it all the way down. So like I gotta recover. Like I really don't even have debt. I just gotta figure out how to get my actual number up because the only I got one debt like that's not even 20,000. It's like I think it's like 12,000 at the most. So that's something that I need to work on. So you went and you got the information to how to build. So can you teach people how to build credit, or you just went and learned it how to fix your own credit, or is it something that like when you do that, is it something where you not licensed or you're like a coach or something? Are you able to do that, or did you just take the route of I'm going to learn how to repair credit, my credit for myself?
Yeah, I just ended up looking for myself because, like I said, the first person I worked with them for like a year, so I'm spending money. The second person, you know, and they had some personal stuff they was going through, so that are like readjust their business. And, that was like money already spent. So now I was like, yo, I have to learn this stuff just because I can't wait on other people, you know what I'm saying, together. I just learned the game. And as far as it, a lot of this stuff is just really just paying your bills on time, paying your credit card bills on time, and not outside of your means. So um people that I spoke the game up, they just taught me that, your your utilization are is like the most two important thing. Both those together combined make up like 6% of your score. So if you that's percent, so like let's say for example, if you have a credit card that's like $5,000, and then the limit is $5,000, like 10% is gonna be 100. And a lot of people talk about the 30%, but the 10% has like the most biggest impact like on credit. And once I started putting my credit card utilization, and I kept it under 10%, that's when I saw like my credit score increase the most. So like 65% of your score is just being able to pay your credit card bills on time, number one, and then a low balance. Those two things are going to be like the most important. And some other things like coming factor, like how many profile. If you have like any other like, a car payment, a mortgage payment, like cards, how many credit cards you have, also what is the length, history, and also the limit on your is more. I had to by not just only by the score, but also by like the entire profile. And I had to do it myself just so I could learn the biggest thing. Like I wanted to make sure I was getting results, and like you said, I worked with a few people, and I just keep pushing. Everyone goes through stuff in life where they got personal things in business that happen. I was like, I can't wait on somebody to be able to get my stuff together. I just take it as like I have to get my together for myself, and wherever I can get this done at is wherever I can get it done at.
I feel it. I feel it. So it's like you weren't waiting for nobody because sometimes when you start, a business or especially with investing, sometimes you gotta get around people that's already done it. They can show you the game. But then once you learn the game, you was like, let me take the initiative to build my credit because really nobody else can build your credit. So even if you were doing the other stuff and you got to a point where they were like, well, your personal credit isn't high enough for you to do this. Now you're not able to do any of the stuff that you learned because you didn't actually work on your, personal credit. Sometimes people are scared to look at those numbers. For a long time, I was actually scared to look at my credit. Like for some reason, I just thought it was bad. But I've only had one credit card my whole life. Like I didn't have at the time like anything bad going on. I had student loans. I didn't have any hospital bills. So when I actually looked at it, my credit score was actually decent, and I was able to get a house. when I was married and had my family, we were able to, get a house because my credit was where it needed to be. But now it's, it got shot down. And some of those things you said, like the inquiries or like making sure that you're paying off, little bills. Cause sometimes it's those hospital bills. Them hospital bills, I had a couple bills, they was like $37, 60 something dollars. I'm like, let me pay this off because this sitting on my credit, messing my credit up. And this me maybe going on a date or going to get a haircut twice a month. You know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes people are scared to actually look at those numbers to actually, start a business or have business credit. And I don't know why that is. Like you have to look at your numbers, no matter if you got a 800 score, you got a 400, a 600. You got to know your numbers because you got to be able to fix that problem that you have. Because with credit, not too only you can really fix your credit, not nobody else. So you get that first deal. I know you were like super excited, but did you get super excited and be like, all right, I'm gonna just wait it out. I'm gonna celebrate off this one. Or did you go back out there and like, all right, let me see how I can get another one?
Yeah, so yeah, that's exactly what we did. Just to give you guys like some insight, all this time when I say like my time to learn credit, it took me like almost it took me almost like 2 years to be able to get in position, just to be able to work on my credit. And at that time, I learned that you could actually leverage a credit partner. One of the do to be able to leverage a credit partner is that in business there's something called like an operating agreement, and it states like the terms of the agreement, like two people coming on the same place to be able to do business together. And there's gonna be you put like members of that LLC. When you put somebody who is 90% or more owner of that LLC, you go like when you go apply for credit, they're gonna only pull that person's credit profile. They're not gonna pull like anybody else's. So now it went from not being in position, learning the game, and then I'm actually able to leverage a credit partner, right? So that was how I was able to get the first like my first business credit card. It was actually leveraging a credit partner, and this is the reason why like it's important to like have a coach, have a mentor, and so they can teach you like, other ways to be able to like still navigate this game. Because like it does take time getting your credit. It does take time getting your credit together. But now when you can't never unlearn it. You know what I'm saying? So God forbid if my credit ever gets messed up, or I mean not saying that it will get messed up, but in life things happen. Sometimes like you may be in a position or your credit may be maxed out because you're invested in, what I'm saying, like too many deals and you're overextended. So now it's like, all right, cool. I leverage someone else's credit. Let me do this. So that's how I got, that first business credit card. And once I was in position, it was a wrap. That's how I was able to get the capital. I was able to like, purchase my first, and this was all off of just leveraging the business credit. And I knew, my way through real estate. I already knew like what to do once I got like business on my own. So, yeah, to answer your question, once I got it, we went through like a whole bank, a few more banks, and then we got the capital that we needed. After that, like off to the race.
Mm, that's I learned something new. When you said having like a business a credit partner and having them. So that's something that you know I'm sure some people that are listening might not have never known or heard of, and because I've never known or heard of that. So that's just you learning the game, and like you said, you had to get you a mentor, or a coach to show you that, like, hey, because it could have took you a little longer to get some credit or however you were going to get the deal, but you were able to get it faster because you were so invested in yourself to invest in getting the information and then finally finding the right person to help you get there. Because like you said, life happens. You know, sometimes a person could be a business coach or a mentor or whatever. Something happens and it, you know, they get off or they got to handle that and they're not able to do that. But then you have some people that know how to operate through whatever happens in life and they're able to show you, all right, hey, I went down that path. You don't need to go down there. Here, this is what you need to do. Here, I know somebody to go talk to them. They'll be able to help you out. So now you're getting properties. Are you getting, what kind of properties are you getting? Like your first, let's say your first three, what kind of properties are those? Like, what are they looking like?
So right now, I have one property. It's in Cleveland, Ohio, and this was a duplex. So this was a duplex, and we used something called money. This strategy gonna be called the burst strategy, and you know, it's common in real estate. Anybody, you know, who's in real estate understand it. Use a hard money loan, right? Use a hard money loan. Well, what I did to be able to get into this deal was I found a hard money lender in Ohio, and they was able to like lend me the money. They was able to lend me the money to be able to purchase the property. So they lent me the money to be able to purchase the property. I had to put a down payment on it. The down payment came from the capital that I was able to use from the business credit. So I was able to put the down payment with that. I was able to buy the property, and it's a two family. The tenant upstairs decided, you know, to move out. You know, the owner, you know, communicated that, you know, the property is being sold or whatever the case is. So the upstairs tenant moved out, and we went up there. We was able to do a rehab, just update some stuff. And typically, that's what you want to be able to do. You want to buy, you want to go through the rehab, and you want to be able to rent. So we bought the property, we rehabbed upstairs. Like I said, the upstairs tenant moved out, the down there, and you know, we was able to ask for like a higher rent upstairs just because like now the property's in the, so after all of that is done, the hard money loan is only good for like 6 months. So you have to go through a refinance, and the refinance is, you know, once you go through a rehab, the property is, you know, performing a little bit better. You want to increase the value, right? And then that value increase, you could borrow against that value. So I got the property, purchase price was 70,000. You know, I had to go through two lenders. Um, the first lender came back a little bit too low where I needed it to be, so I went through a second lender, and the second lender came back, and the property got appraised for 110,000. So at that price point for 110,000, they're gonna be able to lend you 75%, 70 to 75% of that balance. So I was able to pull out about, I think it was like 82, 85 thousand dollars, and I had my mortgage from the hard money lender is only good for 6 months, and I balance is $63,000. So like obviously there's a difference. I'm able to pull out 85. I'm gonna pay off the 63, and you know there's some costs that are gonna be associated with that because like the transaction they're gonna want to eat, you know. So the title company, when you close, there's gonna be a fee that goes to the person who's lending you money. And you know, I was able to get out of my hard money loan, and I was able to get, you know, some capital back out. So now we put that, you know, pay my business credit cards down, be able to have some money over and then run the play again at this point. And I do want to touch on one of the things that I learned, especially like when you like borrowing money, right? When you're borrowing money, you want to be able to like, and you want to be able to go through a full rehab. And after this process, there's just certain things that I was able to like understand and conceptualize because people, like, to be honest, man, people come on like you on a podcast and it's like do this, and do that, and then it's like do it, and then it didn't really work out. It didn't really work out like the best. And what I learned was like going through these appraisals that the agent, the appraisal look at houses that got sold on the market on the MLS, right? So, and my property's in Cleveland, Ohio, and um, for those who don't know, kind of like the Midwest is a good rental market, right? So what happens is that when the agent goes on and they look at the properties that are being sold, these properties are not rehab. These properties are in like tip top condition where they went through a full rehab. So the issue, the it's not an issue, but what that tells me is that you have cash buyers, true cash buyers that have money, right? They have money. They're able to come into these markets and they are able to buy strictly with cash and they don't need to refinance out, right? So now these properties that get sold on the MLS have the pictures and everything. They're gonna be able to like look at the condition. So the issue is that when when you go to refinance out, you're gonna be the appraisal is gonna be able to look at properties that got sold on the MLS, right? That were not rehab. So now when you go through and you go through rehab yourself, right? Now you got to look at it and say like, cool, what condition is the properties being sold in on the MLS, and what's the condition of the property once I'm done with the rehab, right? And we was only able to rehab the upstairs unit, not the downstairs unit, right? So I think that's one of the reasons why my appraisal came back lower, than I need to, because I go through like a full rehab, right? So the idea, since you're in business, to be able to borrow this capital, right? Because you got to understand this is business credit, right? So you do have to be able to pay this money back. I want to make sure understands that you have to be able to pay this money back. So stuff that is like it's actually better to be able to go full rehab, right? Full make everything nice. So that now when it's time to refinance, the whole goal is able to like improve the property as much as possible, be able to pull that refinance money out, pay off your business credit cards, and then hopefully if it's a deal, then you have to refinance and you could put that towards the next project. That was probably one of the that I saw when I actually like went through that. So that's probably one of the things I would have done a little bit differently.
Okay. Okay. So I think we forgot to say where you live. Where you live at now?
So I'm in New York. I'm in the New Jersey area. So all of my investing that I do right now is out of state.
Okay. So yeah, you out of state. Um, how does that work? Do you have to leave? Go and visit? I know for the rehab part. Were you a part of the rehab process, or did you have a team? Like, how did you even find? So first question is, how did you find out about this out of state place? You live in New York. You find somewhere in the Midwest, Ohio, probably somewhere nobody really knows, but it's a good value for for your building, for your home. But how did you find that information, and then how does that process work with you doing the rehab? Is it a team? Are you going there yourself? Are you traveling? How does that work?
Yeah. So question, man. Honestly, the thing that really started off was I saw people just talk about Ohio on social media that coming over here. A lot of out of state investors were investing over there, and I just talk on social media. And the thing with social media is like a lot of people could post like literally, but once you kind of know some people that's in the game and they've been doing it for some while, you'll start to put two and two together. And that I went to, I made like right? I made the investment and training that I went to, and I went there in person, and that was I'm actually going out to Ohio, and I just learned about the market, right? I learned about the market. I was able to go out and network. I was able to build the right relationships. Most importantly, I think what helped me out the most, I already did a few small deals under my belt about how sale, how to like, find like off market real estate deals. So now when I'm in these environments, these conversations, like follow the conversation, pretty well, right? I already know stuff what I'm doing. So now it's more about like, all right, how can I like tap into this market? So one, I think the most biggest things that you got to build the relationships. Once I built the relationships with the right people, then that's when the game started changing. And I think like what helps makes it easier is that you be valuable. You got to bring something to the table so that even if the people who's like in that state that they're helping you out, it has to be like some sort of exchange of value. So luckily I was in a position where I was able to travel and I was able, to go out there and vet some deals and be able to build my relationships. And one of the contractors that I found for referral, networking. I met him off a Clubhouse. He introduced me to his contractor, who was a family member, and person, and I was able to go through. I was able to go through that rehab. So doing it is possible. Like I said, you have to be able to find the right relationship, kind of screen the right way, and then just make sure like the value is there. Some people, they may look at business as like, all right, cool, like we make some money, right? And that may motivate some people. And then there's others that I've learned in my experience that, well, I can make money on my own, but like I need help doing this, right? And if you pay attention to the I need help doing this, you could help them do that, then it's a relationship is more than money. And that's what that's what I did. I made sure, like I'm valuable. I made sure that I knew how to like find these deals. I made sure that I knew how to like put the plays together. So now when I make these calls, it work a whole lot easier for me.
I like that. I like that. You said basically you have to build a relationship with people. And like you said, sometimes, people like, oh, let's just go get this money. But it's like, what can you help me do? Like sometimes people be like, I remember this woman I was talking to, she was like, well, I could help you. I'm like, what value can you add? I was like, what can you do? And she was like, nothing. I was like, well, you can't add any value to what I'm doing. Like, you just being around me ain't gonna add value. So like, when it comes to business, there's nothing you can do for me. And it was not me trying to be mean, but it's like, you got to add value to me and I got to add value to you. Like you said, you're able to do something that they're not able to do. They're able to do something you're not able to do. And you guys build a relationship. I'm sure y'all pretty cool now. Like, y'all hang out or call each other, talk to each other because y'all built that relationship. And now you're able to get referrals. You're able to, network with different people, and you're out of state, but you're in good hands with the people that you're working with because you build, those relationships. That's very important. A lot of people, like Drake said, no new friends. No, you gotta have those new friends because those new friends gonna get you to new levels. So, I love that you're out of state. You're in a big state. People would think, oh, you're in New York, you're in the New Jersey area. You should be out there. But no, you're building. You're starting off small and you're working your way and you're building networks outside of where you're at. So when you eventually, if you want to, build where you're at, you know what to do. And then you got people from out of state that might want to, do something. Now you can work with other people because you build those relationships. So
Right. And
what
one thing
are go
I do
ahead.
want to
Go
point
ahead.
out, one thing I do, I started in New Jersey. Started in New Jersey. And I started off as wholesale, right? And wholesaling is just being able to like find a distressed property that's vacant, a property that need work. A seller is motivated to foreclose. They want to be able to sell quickly. So that's you get that property under contract, you sell your contract to another investor, and then you make your money in between. New Jersey is just competitive, right? And this was me starting out in like 2019. Um, 2019, 2020, and just competitive, and me just like trying stuff. I realized that like it was just hard, trying to crack through, and that's one of the reasons why. Well, it's not one of the. I just saw the opportunity in Ohio, and also the thing that stood out was the opportunity cost. New Jersey, it's expensive. It's expensive to be able to like buy properties, flip properties. Just the entry cost to be able to get involved in a deal completely high. And when I was researching like Ohio, I just realized like properties are selling for like 100,000, 150,000. And over here in this area, like people are buying houses like 100, 300,000 and then reselling them for like 400, 500. So it's just like it just took me learning, and two, once I learned, I saw the opportunity, and I just went, I just went to Ohio, and I learned about Cleveland. I learned about Ohio, and those are my two main markets I actively invest in.
That's smart. That what you did, because somebody could, somebody else might have wanted to give up. Oh, it's competitive. Oh, I don't have the funds to really compete in this in this area. But instead, you was like, okay, let me find some other area that I can, take an opportunity at and learn and still do the same thing that I want to do here until I get to that point. Now, when come back to your area, you know exactly what to do. You got the funds to do it. You got less, whatever you had at the beginning, obstacles, you don't have so many now because you've learned everything. So that's smart. You didn't give up. You just made the adjustment. Sometimes people don't make the adjustment or be like, oh man, this is just too hard. I'm going to just give up and go do something else. But you didn't do that. That's very commendable. And that's very smart too, because you wouldn't have been able to learn. And you just said, I'm just thinking of the time frame. This was during COVID. All this was going on during COVID.
Yeah,
Or not
yeah,
all of it, but a good portion of it.
yeah. A good portion of COVID. So, I closed. I think it was 29. That's when got serious about everything. It took me like a year just to like. It took me a while, honestly, just to like build up my confidence. Just to say, like I'm actually going to go ahead and do this, and like intentionally be serious about it. And then COVID happened, and like we still kept pushing through that. What else? And I just wanted to like just take control of like my time, you know, um, and that's what I wanted most, to have the time and financial freedom. And that's one of the things that, I mean, there's a few that keep me going, but that was one of the main things that I want to be in a position to be able to like have my time and have my freedom to be able to like do things that I want to, not be tied down just because like we have to go through the world, by making money. So
Definitely understand that of controlling the time, because a lot of time, like during COVID, it's I think it was only really two kinds of people that were just chilling, just relaxing, oh we off, and then there was people taking advantage of that time that we were given. It's like, okay, I can't go anywhere, but I got the internet, I got YouTube, I got these devices. It's a lot of people doing lives or different stuff, and you had to take an opportunity in that moment, even though the world outside your house was shut down, but the world inside your house wasn't. So you could have took it to learn. You could took it to whatever opportunity, and that's something that you did. I did the same thing. I took advantage of COVID and started a business and started being serious about get my time back, because when you go to a job, sometimes you go to that job, you wake up in the morning, you get ready to go to work, you get off work, you tired from the job, you want to relax, might chill, watch some TV, you eat dinner, you look up, I need to go to bed because it's time to do it all over again. But when you're, one word I heard you say, intentional. When you're intentional about doing something, you put yourself on a schedule. You put yourself in a, you have routines and different stuff like that. So, what are some of the little things that you did? Because you said you still work at the 9 to 5, but doing the entrepreneurial thing isn't easy. And I know, you got to have systems, routines, but what are, like, let's say, three little things that you did to kind of like set yourself up for success working a job and, running a business?
Yo, I know like this may sound like unconventional, but to be honest, it's like working out and reading. Um,
Mm.
and for me, that's like it keeps my mental it keeps my mental sharp, and working out, just allows me to like release whatever I got going on. And when I feel like I physically like sweat, I put myself through that. When I step into like the outside world, when I leave the gym, it's like I could handle what comes my way. And sticking to that, it just allows me to like operate from a place that this works for me. So like let me just hold on to two things, and this is what makes me feel good about myself. This is what makes me feel productive. And I just kind of like reverse engineer into into the business, and it just creates a structure. It just creates a structure. And I don't figure it out just yet because it's everything in business is a experience. There's no like right way or wrong way to be able to like do business. There work for Gardy, and then it's gonna be that work for Eric. What work for Eric may not work for Gardy, but if it works for Eric, then Eric needs to go ahead and like stick to it and run through it. You have people who and they talk about like hire a virtual assistant, put your systems in place, get your processes going, and I think that makes like logical business sense. But then I feel like there's also like the like that gets attached to it, and it's like, are you truly like ready for that? I had to go through like 3 4 virtual assistants, and not like they were not good, but like you have a responsibility bringing people along. Like, are you actually train and lead people? You know what I'm saying? Like that's like that's another thing. A lot of times people just want to jump into business, and they're not like truly ready to like commit, like figure it out, and then have that resiliency to be able to like still push. And then like you learn about yourself, you learn about your style, you learn like what type of marketing that you want to do, what type of marketing you don't want to do, and how you interact with people. And I don't know like how to tell somebody to go by just like going focusing on the journey is more important. Like where you at step is not going to be how you think and feel versus like when you took that first step. So going through the journey, in my opinion, is like the most important thing.
Yep, yep. Some the people always want to get to the destination, but you're not going to be able to get to the destination without going through the journey, without going over the speed bump, without getting a flat tire, without having to stop to go get gas or whatever, whatever you got to do on that journey. You won't be able to get there if you don't have those things. Because say if your car, you're going on a trip, your tire goes flat. If you don't have a spare, you don't have AAA, and you're not able to get that fixed, you're not able to continue to go on to get to the destination that you're going. So if you don't go through those different hurdles, you're not able to get to that destination. So it's always to enjoy and embrace and be grateful for your journey. But I like what you said though. Like you said, reading and working out, that's for you. That works for you, and that helps you in your system. And people will go and watch somebody, or they'll have a coach or be in a system or whatever the case, and they be like, okay, they do this, this, and this. I'm gonna do exactly like this, but it don't work. it ain't helping you. It ain't changing nothing. But if you like, okay, let me start going to bed a little earlier. Now you realize, okay, I'm getting up earlier. I can, do these different things rather than somebody might say, oh, stay up all night and get up, don't get no sleep. And that's not working for you. For me, that don't work. Like when somebody say, go off of no sleep, that don't work for me. If I don't have no sleep, I'm not good. I'm not good. But if I know I'm gonna go to bed at 9 o'clock to wake up whatever time, now I know I'm good. And that works for me. Like people be like, dang, why you going to bed? Because this works for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to pick what works for you in those little steps to help you, level up. So give 3 practical tips or 3 things people can do right now today to help them learn or to, leverage their credit to get into real estate, or what can they do right now today?
So I think the first thing that you could do when it comes down to like something that's practical that you could do right now is take financial inventory. Take where you at financially. Where's your credit score? Where's like your credit card debt? Are you bringing in? How much savings do you have? Do you have a 401k? Do you actually have a house? Do you have like equity in your house? And just taking financial of where you are at right now. And depending on, if you are in that position, if you in the leverage, then it's like now, all right, how can I leverage it? That's number one, taking financial inventory. I think to get started in real estate or leverage in real estate, it's the credit. If your credit is not in position, and man, this is a one financial inventory. Two, work on your credit. 3, I would possibly say is to like, you know, get into mentorship. Um, but get into mentorship if you're like brand new to this, if you're brand new, period, get into like mentorship. People have like a community. Like me and you, we invested in coaching, we invested in life coaching that has a community, and I think that helps people more because you could see successes and you could also see other people's struggles. And once you join a community, you're in a position. If you're new to this, you're pulling from that. And you're gonna be pulling from new people who are learning, who are trying to learn about real estate. And I think that's just gonna allow you to open up and get the information that you need, get the support that you need. There's a learning, in that community. If you could, soak up the game from the people that is winning, and then feet wet, and then start pouring back into the community, I feel like it forces you to level up. So, like 3 practical things that I would do for someone to take action and get into real.
I love it. I love it. You got to take that inventory on your finances. You got to get your credit together. Look at your actual numbers. That's the big thing that I took from excuse me, from both of those. You got to look at your numbers, because sometimes people don't look. You don't look at your numbers. Your numbers not really bad, or maybe your budget isn't bad, or maybe your credit isn't as bad, but you never took a look at it to actually know. And once you know, now, like you said, get into a community. We both been in the community. We've seen people start at the bottom, go, and now they're at the top, but we've seen their struggles. We've seen the ups and downs of what it is. So now we can ask questions, or no question is a wrong question to ask. So when you're in these communities, when you're getting a mentorship, ask whatever questions come to your brain, because if you don't ask that question, you'll never get the answer that you need, or it might be an answer that something that don't even take you 2 minutes to do. So I love those. You got to look at your numbers basically and get around people that are doing what you're doing, or just get, like you said, don't rush into getting a coach. You don't really know what you're doing. just yet get into a community, because when you're in a community, there's going to be one or two other people just like you. And then you guys can be accountability partners. You guys can work together or whatever the case. Or you might have some people that's like a big brother or big sister. Oh, okay. I see where you at. I was just there a year ago. Let me show you some steps that I did that can help you get to where I'm at a little quicker than what took me. So I love that, man. I love that, seeing you, knowing you for the last few years to where you're at now, and you got the real estate booming. You're taking care of your health and all those things. So I just want to say I'm very proud of you. What's a quote that you can leave? Underdog quote, something that you know, something where somebody's struggling, somebody going through something right now, they can take away and be like, all right, I can take that and I can, make an adjustment.
Tough times do not last, but tough people do. My
Boom.
favorite quote by ET. Tough last, tough people do.
It's that just that simple. It's just that simple. Like they say, this shall pass. Like tough times gonna happen, things gonna happen, but you gotta be a tough person. You gotta be able to get through whatever adversity. I'm sure we could have talked way longer about the different adversities you went through just to get there, but you gave us the steps from somebody that doesn't know too much or somebody that's just starting. They can get from point A to point B by just actually looking at the numbers, getting around people, and then just being intentional. I heard you say that. Like, you got to be intentional about it, because if you're not intentional about doing something that you've never done before, you're not going to do it, because something going to punch you in your face. You're going to give up. You're like, oh, I shouldn't have done this anyways. But when you're intentional, when you're committed, you're disciplined, you start changing the little things in your life. Now it's like, okay, I can do this. And that's one thing that you've done, that you've told us that you've done. Me personally, I've seen you, looking at your stories and different things of that sort. So tell the people how they can reach out to you. Are you showing people, are you talking about real estate? Are you just, in the business? How can they reach out to you? Social media, any way they can reach out to you.
Yeah, man, most definitely. So I'm very active on Instagram. Instagram is real estate CEO, real estate CEO, and part of the coaching community, part of a coaching community that I am, are opening the doors, to invite other students in. Is teaching how to get capital, how to find market opportunities, and find the best exit strategy. Is with somebody else, one of my mentors that taught me. And, we're targeting a bit more of a commercial side of real estate, but if anybody who is interested, feel free to hit me and even if you need like a direction, like how to get started, or like if you want to take the conversation further, we can jump on a call, man. You can, hit me up PM and we can go from there.
All right, so reach out to him on his Instagram. I have the link attached to this episode. I appreciate you for coming on. Appreciate you for giving us some of your time for today. I know you're a busy guy. Thank you again. Any last words?
No, man, thank you for doing the platform, man. Being able to just invite other people on. So it's good to hear. It's good to hear from other people, but it's also good to for a minute and to like still to listen. So I'm glad to be on here to help you out.
I appreciate it, man. And I usually say peace, one love.